In a rural town, a high school girl disappears. The school stays silent, and no one seems to care. Then a new teacher arrives and uncovers something disturbing. A hidden camera inside the girl's restroom, planted by a fellow male teacher. When another student is kidnapped, he realizes the danger is far from over. Can he expose the truth before more lives are destroyed? The film opens with Ji Chil, a tough and upright boxing coach, entering a restaurant holding a shiny trophy. He slams it down on the table in front of the boxing association head, and calls him a con man. His students should have won the competition, but the match had been fixed, all for money. Ji Chil couldn't stay quiet. When one of the men tries to punch him, Ji Chil knocks him out with a single blow. But the price is high. He's expelled from coaching. Not long after, his sister calls. She scolds him on the phone for being rash but says she's found him a new job, a teaching position in a small town. With no other option, Ji Chil sets off. On the way, his car hits a nail. Stuck in the middle of nowhere, he waits for a tow truck. As he looks around, something catches his eye. A poster of a missing girl named Su Yeon. He doesn't know it yet, but this girl will change everything. In the town center, a high school girl named Eugene is in a heated argument with 3 other girls. They had scribbled on Su Yeon's missing posters. Furious, Eugene confronts them. Ji Chil tries to step in, but the girls mock him, telling him to mind his own business. Just then, Dong Soo, a friendly police officer and one of Ji Chil's old students, greets him. Meanwhile, Eugene visits Su Yeon's grandmother. The old woman's eyes are full of worry. Su Yeon has been missing for days, but Eugene assures her that she's filed a police report. Later, Eugene enters Su Yeon's empty room. She stands there silently, remembering their last moments together, laughing, talking, and making plans together. It was the last time she saw her best friend. That night, Eugene walks home. The street is dark and quiet, and she senses someone following her. A shadow moves in the distance. Just as fear starts to rise, a bus pulls up. She gets on quickly and sees the strange man disappear into the night. The next day, Ji Chil arrives at his new school. The principal gives him an awkward first task: collect unpaid tuition and lunch fees from the students. He's introduced to the other teachers and is seated next to Ji Soon, the art teacher. It quickly becomes clear that Ji Soon is well liked by the students. A teacher spots Ji Chil and gives him advice. Lunchtime is the best chance to find the students on the list. He tries, but it doesn't go well. Many students are rude. Some laugh at him. It's clear they don't respect him yet. He spots Eugene and calls out to her. Her name is on the unpaid list too. When he tells her she needs to pay to graduate, she brushes him off without a word. Later, Ji Chil tries to ask her about Su Yeon. He mentions that she hasn't paid since last year and wonders out loud, could she have run away? Eugene's eyes flash with anger. She didn't run away, she says firmly. Later that day, Ji Chil spots Eugene climbing over the school fence, skipping class. He doesn't stop her right away. Instead, he heads into town to keep an eye on the students, making sure they're not getting into trouble. As he walks through the streets, something unexpected catches his attention: a claw machine. He tries his luck and actually wins a stuffed toy. He smiles happily like a child. In the town square, a political rally is underway. A man named Mr. Kim is giving a speech. He's not just running for office, he's also the chairman of the school where Ji Chil now works. As the crowd cheers, Ji Chil spots Eugene and he decides to follow her. Eugene is looking for a bar. She found the bar's name car in Su Yeon's room. If she can find it, maybe she can find out what happened to her missing friend. She enters the dingy place, filled with cigarette smoke. She walks straight to a group of men and asks about Su Yeon. One of the men seems to recognize the name, but before he can say anything, the bar's manager snaps at her, telling her to leave. That's when Ji Chil bursts in, just in time. He grabs her by the arm and pulls her away, his voice sharp with worry. Outside, he scolds her for being reckless. You could have gotten hurt, he says. As they argue, a young woman steps out of the bar. She says she's not sure about Su Yeon either, but suggests they talk to the madame, the woman who manages the girls at the bar. The scene shifts to the bar at night. A group of men are drinking where bribes are quietly passed, and young girls sit beside them. Something dark is going on here, and it may be tied to Su Yeon's disappearance. In the car, Eugene urges Ji Chil to keep digging. We have to find out the truth, she says, but he insists on driving her home first. He promises to talk to her homeroom teacher. She scoffs. No one cares, not the police, not the school, and now, not you either. He tries to reason with her, but she's already pulling away. She tells him to drop her off at an alley instead of her house. Reluctantly, he agrees. Moments later, as Eugene walks alone, a car creeps behind her. A man jumps out, tasers her, and she collapses to the ground. At the same time, Ji-cheol notices Eugene left her phone in his car. Instantly, he turns the car around. His timing is perfect. The attacker sees him coming and runs off. Ji-cheol rushes to Eugene's side and drives her to the hospital. At the hospital, Eugene tries to tell the officers everything. Not just about the attack, but about Soo-yeon. But they don't seem interested. They brush her off and tell her to wait. Frustrated, Ji-cheol turns to Don-soo. "Why won't anyone take this seriously?" he asks. Don-soo explains the truth. The police can't open a missing person case unless a direct family member gives consent. "You're an outsider," he adds. "Getting involved won't help you." But Ji-cheol is not the kind of man who walks away. That night, he finds out that Soo-yeon's only guardian is her grandmother. The next day, he visits her. The old woman is surprised. No one else has come. She quietly thanks him for looking out for Soo-yeon. With her permission, Ji-cheol heads back to the station and hands Don-soo the signed consent form. Don-soo hesitates, but Ji-cheol insists that he file the case. The following day, Ji-cheol goes to speak with Soo-yeon's homeroom teacher, hoping to find clues about what might have happened. But the teacher doesn't seem to care at all. She shrugs and says Soo-yeon was always skipping class and probably just ran away. Another teacher overhears and pulls Ji-cheol aside. "Why are you getting involved?" he says. "Forget the kids. Just collect the unpaid tuition and focus on your performance score." Ji-cheol is stunned. He's starting to see how deep the apathy runs in this school. Meanwhile, Eugene finds Ji-cheol and urges him to go with her to find the madame at the bar. But Ji-cheol tells her to hold off. He already asked Don-soo to investigate, and they should wait for the police. But Eugene shakes her head. "The police won't do anything. You're no different from the rest. I thought you cared, but I was wrong." At the police station, Don-soo receives an angry call from his superior. He's scolded for filing the missing person report for Soo-yeon. There's something more to this case. Something others don't want investigated. Back at school, Ji-cheol sees smoke coming out from the girls' bathroom. He opens the door to check on the girls. But as he searches for the cigarettes, he finds something far more disturbing. A small hidden camera inside one of the stalls. Ji-cheol rushes to the principal's office, planning to report it. But before he can speak, the principal snaps at him. "Stop poking your nose into Soo-yeon's case. You're a teacher. Protect the school's reputation." Realizing that the school will try to cover everything up, Ji-cheol says nothing about the camera. He decides to investigate on his own. He discovers the truth. The camera was planted by the art teacher, Ji-sung. Back in the staff room, Ji-cheol sees Ji-sung's laptop and checks it. A message from Eugene pops up and he realizes that she is meeting him. He also discovers that Ji-sung had met with Soo-yeon on the night she vanished. Something is terribly wrong. Ji-cheol snaps a photo of Ji-sung's personal info before rushing out to find Eugene. He calls her immediately. Eugene answers, whispering that she's inside Ji-sung's car. He tells her that Ji-sung was the last person who met Soo-yeon, and when she sees Soo-yeon's butterfly keychain hanging from his keys, her heart begins to race. Eugene tries to stay calm and asks Ji-sung where they are headed to. He tells her he needs to pick up something from his house. Quietly, she texts Ji-cheol her location. Then she asks Ji-sung about Soo-yeon's disappearance. Ji-sung gets agitated and punches her. The next moment, Eugene wakes up. Her hands and feet are tied, her mouth gagged. She's on the cold floor of Ji-sung's bedroom. He opens a cupboard, and inside, she spots something chilling, Soo-yeon's phone. Just then, Ji-cheol arrives outside. He doesn't hesitate. He charges the door and punches it open. Bursting inside, he sees Ji-sung and with one swift move, Ji-cheol punches him to the ground. Ji-sung begs, "Please don't report me," but Ji-cheol is furious. He demands to know why Soo-yeon's phone is in his house. Ji-sung stammers. He says Soo-yeon called him that night, asking him to pick her up. While driving her home, she got a call and told him to drop her off at a nearby gas station. Someone else would pick her up. He left but felt uneasy, so he returned, only to find her missing. The only thing left behind was her phone in the bathroom. Ji-cheol doesn't fully believe him, but Ji-sung insists he was scared and didn't report it to avoid trouble. After the tense exchange, Eugene calls the police. Ji-sung is arrested and taken into custody. The truth is slowly coming to light, but the mystery of Soo-yeon's disappearance is far from over. Ji-cheol goes straight to the head detective and urges him to investigate Su Yian's case properly. But the man barely listens. He waves Ji Chil off like it's not his concern. Frustrated, Ji Chil pleads with Dong Su to check the last number Su Yian called. Dong Su hesitates, but Ji Chil tells him firmly, be a righteous cop, do the right thing. Later, the head detective secretly calls Byung-do, the man who manages the bar and works under Ki-tae. He warns him, someone submitted Su Yian's phone as evidence. You better stay alert. Byung-do quickly reports to Ki-tae, but he gets a brutal beating for letting things spiral out of control. The next morning, Eugene boldly posts the truth about Jisoo on the school bulletin board for everyone to see. Ji Chil sees it and warns her gently, you need to be more careful. These people won't just sit back. That same day, the school chairman fires Ji Chil. He blames it on his past conduct, but Ji Chil knows the real reason. He's getting too close to the truth. Now, Ji Chil is out of a job, and his financial situation becomes difficult. Still, he refuses to walk away. Not long after, Dong-soo calls him. A body has been found in the canal. Ji Chil rushes over, and so does Eugene. The worst is confirmed. It's Su Yian. Eugene stares at her best friend's lifeless body in disbelief. Tears stream down her face as she breaks down. Ji Chil looks at her, heart heavy with guilt and worry. They visit Su Yian's grandmother in the hospital. When she learns the news, her condition worsens. Meanwhile, Dong-soo finds out that Su Yian's phone, which should have been logged as evidence, never was. Suspicious, he steals it and brings it to a private repair shop, hoping to recover the data. He later tells Ji Chil what he discovered. The last person Su Yian called was Byung-do. There was also a text from the madame at the club saying she was worried about her. But before Dong-soo can do anything else, he's attacked from behind. His own superiors knock him out with a baseball bat. They need to stop him from exposing the truth. Elsewhere, the chairman meets secretly with the police chief. It becomes clear they're working together. For years, the chairman has been bribing the police to cover up all of his crimes. Determined to find the truth, Ji Chil visits the madame at the bar. She finally opens up. She tells him that Su Yian used to sing part-time at the club. That night, she got a call from her grandmother, saying she was in the hospital. Desperate to leave early, Su Yian begged for help. She even told the chairman that she was a student at his school, hoping he would care. But instead, she was dragged away by the police chief. Later, when the chairman found out Su Yian was from his school, he shouted at Byung-do for recruiting a girl from his school, afraid that this could ruin his public image. Suddenly, a scream rang out from a room inside the bar. Su Yian had run away after the police chief made unwanted advances toward her, but Byung-do called her and threatened her. If she didn't cooperate, her grandmother would suffer. Terrified, Su Yian agreed to return. That's why she alighted at the gas station that night. The madame mentions that she does not know what happened after. Byung-do suddenly shows up with a group of thugs, ready to silence Ji Chil, but Ji Chil, outnumbered and alone, fights them off one by one using his boxing skills. Bruised but still standing, he knocks Byung-do to the ground and demands answers. Did you kill Su Yian? But Byung-do shouts that it was not him. He reveals that when he arrived at the gas station that night, he found Su Yian already being strangled in the bathroom by Ji-soon. The shocking truth is revealed. Ji-soon is actually the chairman's son. He had fallen for Su Yian, but when she rejected him, in a fit of rage, he snapped. Ji Chil is horrified, but before he can act, he receives another devastating call from Eugene's mother. Eugene is missing. Panic sets in. He rushes to Ji-soon's house but finds it empty. Then he notices a painting on the wall, one with an address, and he heads there. Meanwhile, Eugene wakes up, tied up and locked in a room. Then there's a knock on the door. Ji-soon panics and hides Eugene in the closet. The visitor is his father, Ki-tae. Ki-tae scolds his son and tells him to leave for America immediately. When Ji-soon rejects the idea, he beats him up and says coldly, I killed the girl to clean up your mess. Don't ruin my life anymore. From the closet, Eugene hears everything. That night, Ki-tae arrived at the scene and slapped Ji-soon repeatedly, mocking him for being weak. Realizing that Su Yian was still alive, he decided to kill her himself, as he was afraid the scandal would ruin his career. Ki-tae leaves the house without discovering Eugene. But when Ji-soon opens the closet, she sprays paint in his eyes, and tries to escape. However, the door is locked. Ji-soon snaps, furious that she disobeyed him. He attacks. Just as he's about to hurt Eugene, Ji Chil bursts through the door. He finds Eugene bloodied and on the floor. Ji-soon lunges and stabs him, but Ji Chil pulls the knife out and lands a crushing punch that knocks him out cold. He rushes Eugene to the hospital. With all her might, She whispers the final truth. It was the chairman. He killed Su Yian. That night, Kim Ki-tae is declared the new governor. His face flashes across every TV screen. Ji-cheol watches, in disgust. This murderer is now in power. But Ji-cheol doesn't hesitate. He rams his car into Ki-tae's. Stepping out to confront him, Ki-tae says smugly, "I'm the governor now. Don't you dare touch me." Ji-cheol doesn't flinch. He smashes the car window with a punch just as police sirens wail in the distance. In the aftermath, with Dong-su's help, the whole truth is finally exposed. The corruption, the cover-up, the murder. Ji-cheol later returns to his hometown. He bids Dong-su farewell. Before he leaves, he stops by the hospital. Eugene is recovering. Beside her bed, she finds the stuffed toy that Ji-cheol won from the claw machine. She smiles widely, knowing there are still teachers out there who will fight for what's right.